listen to Wells Radio by downloading the app on your Android and iOS devices. Go to Google Play Store and search Wells Radio, download and install the app, and you'll be able to listen to us. Also listen to Wells Radio via TuneIn, streamer, and our website www.wellsradio.com. Follow and like Wells Radio on Twitter and Instagram at Wells Radio, and on Facebook at Wells Radio Online. My name is Tolu Aladesanmi. Thank you for joining us today. Momma is a program specially created for every mother and potential mothers. Indeed, the rest of the family are not left out. Everyone can learn one thing or the other. Most mothers have had to learn from the experiences of others just to be able to perform their roles better. Women are always seeking to get better in everything. Now, Momma is designed to get women better informed about fertility, about marriage, getting fulfillment, and every other thing. Our resource persons will help provide answers to the questions in the hearts of women in these areas. Each episode is designed to ensure that you live, love, learn, and laugh. Yes, that's what Momma is all about. On this episode today, I'll be taking a look at one of the things that's really important to a woman other than her family. What can that possibly be? Okay, so there's certainly more to being a mom than raising kids. A woman loves to give expression to her strength, her talents, her gifts and skills through work. Yes, we'll be looking at career moms today. I believe you're in for a great time of learning on Momma. My special guest is a great mom, an exceptional wife, a hard-working banker, and a businesswoman. She is Mrs. Olajumoke Adigo. Mrs. Adigo, you're welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so I'm taking a musical break now, and we'll be back to discuss that very interesting topic.
I had Handson Parents. My dad was like a woman. He was like those kind of fathers that did the roles that moms did, and my mom did roles that men did. So my mom was into a lot of work. She, apart from being a nurse, she ran businesses, and my dad was a doctor, and despite the fact that his job was really demanding, he was dedicated both to his work and to us. So growing up was a lot of fun. I have 4 siblings, and we grew up in a closely knit family circle, so it was really beautiful.
Okay, beautiful. Well, that's good to know. So I guess that has a way of influencing your family right now, your own family.
Yes, it does. There are certain things that get automatically passed down from generation to generation. Naturally, you tend to do what you see your mom or your dad do. So it's influenced the kind of family life that I currently have.
Okay, do you want to share a few of them?
Okay, well, as a mom, my mom was, the lioness mom. She just wanted you to be the best. She wanted you to be outstanding in everything. And right now I see that in myself. I just want to push my children. I see, and right now that I feel I'm more informed than she was then. So I see certain things and I'm like, no, you have to work better at this, be better at that. And then with my dad, fortunately for me, I got married to a man that is a lot like my dad. So he's also hands-on. So it makes the transition very easy for me.
Okay. All right. So tell me, what do you do currently?
Well, currently, career-wise, I work for a bank. I've worked for 11 years in a bank. And I have a business on the side. I have a fashion retail store on the side. So those are the 2 things that I juggle apart from being a full-time mom.
Okay. So is what you're doing now what you've always dreamt of?
Yes. I've always wanted to work. I've always wanted to work in the corporate world. So even when I got married, I always knew, okay, some organizations don't want you to have kids. There was this rumor then, which I later found wasn't true. So I really wanted to get a job before getting married, so that would be a problem. So, and on the other hand, I think I took that from my mom, the entrepreneurial part of me. I, love to buy and sell. I love to source for things that people would like and to just sell them. I'm just passionate about it.
The change in seasons from pregnancy to nursing babies and growing years for your kids. I know there's some people who are listening right now and they're just wondering, so what's the magic?
Well, it's a combination of challenging and fulfilling. It's not like it was so easy, because I had the first two pregnancies were a bit challenging. I had threatened miscarriages on both of them, so I was bleeding intermittently for no reason, and the doctors couldn't tell what was triggering it. So it wasn't, I had to be very careful. I was on bed rest in and out of work till I stabilized. So it wasn't really easy, the pregnancy days, but I had colleagues that were very supportive. So I had the support system at work that understood that I wasn't being lazy, which is why, before whatever you're doing, it's better to put everything into it, so that if something comes along, people know you're not being lazy, and everybody was there to cover for me when needed. And while the children came, obviously working and then having a baby that you had to attend to throughout the night, and then wake up early to get ready, it's not easy, but it comes with a lot of planning. Planning, doing everything you can at night, so that in the morning you have fewer things to do, and then getting a very good nursery to put the baby in, so that while I'm at work, my mind is at rest, that he's in good hands, and then somewhere close to work that I can pop in if need be. So I think as the children grow, it's phases. You have the challenges come in different phases, but all in all, it's not something everyone can go through. It's worth it to do.
Okay, so it's not like it's for strong women.
No, it's not. I don't consider myself a strong woman, so if I could do it, you feel like anybody else can do it.
Momma, you can hear this, right from our guest today. She's saying if she can do it, then anybody else can do it. So you wanted to do it, so go for your dreams, okay? Let's go get your dreams. Now you talked about nursery. So what's the definition of a good nursery?
Well, to start with, for me, one of the most important things is that the owner of the nursery has to be there, has to be hands-on. It's not, a nursery is not a business you just start and then you put people there and you're not there. So if I go there and I find out the owner is not there, then it's a no-no for me. Then I tend towards nurseries that are especially nurseries, not a school that has a creche, daycare, nursery, primary, secondary, college. I think the visionary of that kind of school might not be able to put in their best to the
a bit of distraction.
Yes, a bit of distraction. So that's what I look out for. And then the staff, I need to see that the visionary also has a hold on the staff, such that if she's not there, they can do things the way they think she would want it to be. Then it has to be obviously a very clean environment, absolutely clean, and they have to be professional to a large extent. So those are the major things to look out for.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for that information, Mrs. Adigun. So tell me, let's talk about your work-life balance. How have you managed that over the years? Your 2 full-time roles of motherhood and career, and then your marriage?
Well, I think, I do know, don't let me say I think. From experience, the most important thing in combining those roles is to realize that you're not a superwoman. And then superwoman doesn't get anybody, it doesn't get anybody anywhere. You need to realize, acknowledge your reality, that you're combining 3 important roles. So you need to understand that at first, and then you need to ask for the help of God. That's a major thing for me. The Bible says, commit your ways to the Lord and He will establish your thoughts. So it's very important, because there are going to be times when you might just feel like, oh, how am I going to do this? Maybe you feel a part of your life is lacking something because you're paying so much attention to another side. So you need to get God involved to help you organize. So when you've done that, you need to prioritize. It's important. You need to know what's important at what time. There's certain things that you don't need to be the one doing them. So you need to look at what's most important to you. For me,
sorry, please say that again. Somebody needs to hear that. There's some women who think they're really super women. So let's hear that again.
So like I said, there's no point proving that you're a superwoman. So there's certain things that you need to prioritize. Some things some people have to do for you. So you need to list out what's most important to you. For me, it's the children. So I look for, when they were much younger, I looked for a good nursery that had a Christian woman and good staff and all the other things I'd spoken about earlier. And then on the home front, I get someone that comes in to do things that, people can do for you. Anybody can clean for you. Anyone can wash clothes. Anyone can arrange certain things. So as much as possible, make yourself be the one at the end of the chain of things that happen in your life. They can start off things and then finish and supervise. You don't need to be the one doing every single thing. And then childcare. I'm not someone who goes out weekends. As much as possible, I spend the weekends with the children to make up for, what I have not been there throughout. Yeah. So growing up, when you have little ones, that's not the time to do Owambe every weekend. So for me, I'd be home, up until I started the business. That's when I started, when my Saturdays had to go to the business. But even then, I would midday. So, and then on the marriage front, you need to make time for your spouse. Because most times you're being able to combine these things. It goes a lot to an understanding. It's important that your spouse is understanding and then allows you to do some of these things. So you need to, show some reverence in that area and appreciation to the family, the children, and to the husband that have allowed you to fly and do these things. And there are times when, you have a spouse who's not around. Maybe your spouse works out of town, or he's not in the country or something. Those times you need to find something to help fill those gaps. You need to get your support system is very important. It's one of the things that would help the journey to be easy. And then the children as well, you need to make up for things that maybe you were not able to do. It's prioritizing is also making sure that the things that are important to the children, that you're there. Like, there's school activities, it's something that you have to be there. It's not something you can delegate. There maybe sports, spending time, then family time, Saturdays, go out together, spend time just in the house, just bonding time. So those are the things to do to be able to combine all of that together.
Wow, I must say you're doing a great job there.
Thank you.
And the Lord will continue to help you in Jesus' name. Mm-hmm. Now, so you talked about support structure. How important is that for a working career mom? I want us to go deeply into that.
Support system that's the most important thing for a career mom, because now you're on a job that needs your entire attention. You don't want to come across as someone who is not serious, who is not taking the job seriously, and then it's a man's world in Africa. So sometimes it's said that you need to put in more effort than a man would on the job. So you need to realize that that's there, you need to do that. And then on the home front, you don't want anything lacking. You don't want to come back to the home and say, oh, I spent my time on the job and then something went wrong on the front. So this is two very important things that you're trying to balance. So balance is very important. So the key is, while you're at work, the things that would make your mind at rest while you're at work, you need to put them in place before you go to work. So which is where your support system comes from. So things that are like doing your shopping. Why would you go and spend 4 hours in Bodija Market on a Saturday morning when you can spend those 4 hours with your children? There are other ways to get these things done. Like for me, over the years before now that I got so busy, I used to love going to the market. So over time I have a relationship with people that sells sell things to me in the market. So now I can just do a list and call them and say, okay, I want this, I want this, I want this. And the woman that sells pepper would go to the man that sells meat and says, oh, auntie wants this quantity of this, and and then that's my shopping. I get my shopping.
That's I'm sure that also came with relationship. It's because of the way you treated them over the years.
Yeah, I have a good relationship with them. And then we also have some businesses now that do that. They do like a service. So if that's what you want to do, by all means, if you have someone you can send, you don't have to be the one to do that, And then you're at home, the nannies, they have to take care of the children, because as the children got older, I changed from them being in nursery till late to them being coming home just right after 2 p.m. I had gotten a housekeeper who happens to be a good nanny, who takes care of the children very well. Well, for me, I don't go for these young girls to look after the children. One, because they're young, you don't know what they can be up to. So I'd rather someone who's a mother herself, an older mother, who would take care of your child like they would theirs, and then look out for things and tell you need to watch this and all that. So right now, they're home, so my mind is at rest that, okay, over time she knows what to do, what they eat, what I don't want them doing, don't go out and play and all that. And when we talk about the support system, sometimes siblings, grandmas, sometimes they fit the role, sometimes they don't. Like some grandmas don't know, because they could indulge your child. Maybe there's certain things you don't want your children feeding on, sugary stuff. Grandmas, naturally they indulge. So you need to put your foot down, or if you think that grandma won't be able to do this things properly, then you might want to have someone in the house with her as well. Because another thing is, some grandmas, because while we were growing up, the world wasn't so bad as it is right now. Grandmas sometimes are not able to recognize that, nice, show-me-looking people around the house are potential pedophiles. So they might not be able to, protect your child, because they're not, they can't even imagine that such things happen. So you need to realize, you need to be aware of those things so that you know what to tell grandma that, okay, you need to watch this. Don't be so trusting of this person. Don't let them go to the neighbors, that kind of thing. So your support system, like we're saying, it's one of the most important things. You need to put the support system in place totally. Who does what and all that.
Wow. I know that's been the fears of certain women, like a reason given for not wanting to work and wanting to be a stay-home mom, or doing something that's more flexible, because you feel like, okay, you can't trust anybody. But I believe that we live in a world you must trust somebody at some point.
You have to, because the children go to school, they arrive back from school. It's just knowing, where to put the checks and balances that's important.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so are there things you wish you could do with or for your kids right now that work would not permit?
Not much. I don't have a sense of inadequacy in that area, because I try as much as possible to be there. Obviously, while they're in school, school doesn't expect us to be there, but for things like maybe they have the guest reading activity, they want parents to come sign in and read, or their conferences, I take time off work to do those things because they're very important to me. So just 30 minutes or 1 hour, I make sure I'm there. Okay. Have that sense.
And I believe that means a lot to that child.
It does.
We would always remember that.
That's it. Always.
Okay, so have your kids ever felt you gave more attention to work than them? We have a generation of kids who are very expressive.
Very, very. Well, that happens most on Saturdays now, when I'm in the store and maybe I come back home at 7 and my 4-year-old is like, Mommy, so where did you go? Where have you been? He doesn't understand. It's Saturday, you're supposed to be here. Where have you been? Well, like we have to we have to let them realize it's what we do. Sometimes I have to go to the store with them, so that obviously
everybody's together,
everybody's
and then
together.
they also see what you're doing.
What I'm doing, and then they appreciate when when I say, okay, I'm at the store, they can visualize, oh, this is what she's doing, and so it's more understanding for them.
And then they grow up thinking, oh, okay, so let me not jump ahead of myself, because I was going to ask you now that what do you think your children's perception is of you right now? Yeah, I remember my son proudly telling anybody that cares to listen that his mom runs an NGO and does this and does that. He seems to be very proud of what you do, and all. So what's the perception of you right now? Do you know?
Yeah. Children are very, they, like you said, they're expressive, and you find out that when they get to school, they compare notes. What does your mom do? And this is what my mom does. So, my son said to me once that, oh, mommy, how do you do two jobs together? You work in the bank and then you have a store, that kind of thing. So I think he comes across as someone who's proud of the fact that I'm able to juggle those two things.
So it feels to him like, this woman is strong.
She's strong.
She's a superwoman.
Yeah, he says that sometimes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so I remember that somebody was sharing with me some time ago how that it was worrisome for her that she wasn't doing anything at the time, and I mean, the major reason why she was home was because of the children. Well, it got to a point where I think as the kids grew, they started getting on her case about her doing something. Mommy, everybody goes to work. Why don't you go somewhere? And so she started feeling bad, about that, and wanted to do something about herself. Maybe she realized at that point in time that, oh, really, the truth is the fact that I'm a stay-home mom doesn't mean that I shouldn't do anything with myself. I can still improve myself. I can, get some education. I can do online training. I can sell. I can do stuff, and all that. The children grew up, and then all of a sudden she looked around and discovered that she hadn't actually, improved on herself, and she started feeling bad. So I had to counsel with her to say, look, no, it's not too late. You can still do something with yourself. She was actually feeling bad more out of the fact that the children realized and recognized, that something was missing there. So if there's a woman like that, what would you say, to that woman right now?
Oh, well, I would encourage her to see the good in how the years flew by. It's priceless what she's been able to do, being there for the children. Every single day they go to work, they go to school, and they come back, and then you're there, and so don't feel like you're failing.
It was wasted.
No, it wasn't wasted. You definitely see it in them, the time that you've spent. However, you realize that it's time to live your life. It's not too late. There are a lot of things that can be done, like you counseled her. So it's time to go up and make up for the years that you feel that you've lost. You haven't actually. I don't think she's actually lost them, because those are priceless. Those things she did, they're priceless.
Okay, thank you so much, and it's been a great time on this episode with Mrs. Jumoke Adiko. On Momma, we live, we love, we learn, and we laugh. My guests and I want you as a woman to have a life and be fulfilled. Thank you so much, Mr. Adigun, for speaking from your heart and sharing those valuable experiences. We're going on another musical break now, and we'll be back for the second half of the program. Welcome back to your favorite program on your preferred wholesome radio. This is Momma, where we live, love, learn, and laugh. Mrs. Adigun is still very much here with us discussing career mom. She's been sharing a lot of experiences that I believe will bless a mom and help her through the different seasons of her career and motherhood. Now, let me ask you, do you ever have a working mom guilt? Okay, for those who don't know, let me tell them what it is. A working mom guilt is that feeling a working mom gets for working.
There was a time that I was in a unit where I had to work Saturdays, Sundays. So when I was in that unit, I had way more bills I did. Because, from church on Sunday, straight to work with the kids, and, they're like, okay, why do you have to do this? So, there was that guilt. And then on occasions when there are times when work is really demanding, if it has to clash with something important, it rarely does. It rarely does, but I'd feel working on you.
So now, thank God for your amazing husband, Mrs. Adigun. But what do you think a woman can do to get the support of her husband in the pursuit of her career or dream? Especially if you have a man or you're married to a man who believes that your place is in the home, then just stay at home and take care of our children.
Well, all men can't be the same. Everyone doesn't have the same orientation. So a man that feels that the woman should be in the home taking care of the children, he's not wrong in any way. That's how important the children are to him. He feels no one else can do the job as well as their mom would do it. So that woman has to realize that it's a phase in her life, because there's no point struggling with a man that believes that you're the best one to absolutely take care of your children. You're just going to have to make the best of that situation. So while you're home, while the children are growing, you have to be deliberate in discovering yourself, what you would like to do, what like you said, like the family that decided to do all the children, have all the children and then, continue with your career. So you can actually, start preparing so that when these children get to the age where the man feels it's appropriate for you to do something apart from being stay-at-home mom, you're ready to hit the ground running. So that's the time to start maybe professional courses. You can start doing your certifications in whatever field you feel you want to go into. And while you're at it, it could, if it's a master's, it could be maybe volunteer at some place to work a few hours. It's just something to just get by until you're able to do what you want to do. And then eventually you might find out that you want to even be an entrepreneur like that woman. So the thing is not just to sit home and be moody and feel you're being suppressed.
Yes.
No, see the good in every situation. See what can you make out of it. How can I make the best of the situation? So that's the way to look at it.
That's awesome, Zadgo, because I just remembered a story now, and I believe it's so important for that woman who's listening to us right now. Never have that feeling of being suppressed. Don't have a victim mentality, like, life is not fair on me. Look at my mates, you look on the Instagram and on Facebook and you see your friends doing stuff and
social media is not nice.
It's not. Now the truth is you need to fill in the gap with all those things that build you up. I remember a friend was sharing with me her story of how that her mom who is in her late 70s now, some few years back, she overheard the woman talking to their dad and saying, I really wanted to be an accountant, she didn't allow me. And for me that meant a lot to us, because my friend said she didn't believe that her mom was still had still not forgiven him after how many years, when they had them, and as the kids came, the father just felt like, okay, why don't you just stay home, and take care of his kids and all that, and that she actually did stay home, took care of them. But what she didn't do, maybe back then, maybe the opportunities didn't come like they are now. You have online courses, you have a lot of things you can possibly do around now, but she didn't. Anyway, whatever the case, she didn't take advantage of any opportunity. She didn't do anything with herself. I don't know what she ended up doing. I didn't even ask the rest of the story, but it just hurts to see a woman who felt deprived of being fulfilled or living a life of fulfillment. And this is somebody who is going to 80. So I'm thinking, so what do you do at that point? You can't reverse and start trying to remove anything. So for that woman who is still very much young, that's why I'm happy you're talking about this, and I was wondering if you had some more to say to encourage that person. It's not time to tie wrapper around and go to the next door and gist all day, watch Telemundo. I'm not saying you shouldn't watch any of those things, but there's just a place for everything. Can you?
Yeah, it's about being deliberate, like I said.
Yeah.
You don't see yourself like the stay-at-home mom, that kind of thing. Okay, stay-at-home mom. So I'm home. The children go, and I sit around and just let the day go by. Be deliberate about it. The same way the people have gone to work or to their businesses have gone out, deliberate about it. Try and also have a schedule of what you want to do.
That's it.
At the beginning of the year when you're doing your goals, decide what you want to achieve that year.
Yeah.
So if it's an online course, if it's a skill you want to acquire, do it deliberately, knowing that I'm not wasting away.
Yes.
Don't see yourself as it's just time to gist, go video club, just go around. No, be deliberate about it. Give yourself a timeline of being able to achieve certain things within those years, such that success it's relative. It's what success is to you is not what success might be to me. So for you, that your success is dependent on you being able to achieve these things on your goal, on your list, on your bucket list. So if you're able to achieve it, you have that sense of fulfillment. You would not feel that someone has deprived you of anything. Like if the grandmother wanted to be an accountant, if she had known at that time that maybe I could be studying for my ICANN while I'm home with these children. By the time she'll be there studying, you're not going to work, so she might be able to do a lot of study on her own, or maybe do some classes while they're in school, and then maybe I'm sure if that kind of grandma was able to pass her ICANN and she's a chartered accountant, at the time the children grow up, she might decide, I want to do my accounting firm or something. So even if she's not really able to work with it, she would still have a sense of fulfillment that she became an accountant.
Yes.
So it's being deliberate. Don't let the days go by. Don't let the year, because before you know it, 5 years has flown. It's flown by pretty fast. So just part time, look at an opportunity. If you've got look at the faces. There are faces in your life. There's certain times when people come into your life. Maybe someone has come into your house to live there, maybe for a year for NYC. Or maybe there's an ASU strike of 4 months, or someone is on holiday, or someone, a relative, say, you're in Ibadan, a child has to be in Ibadan for this time, or some people are on holiday or something. Take advantage of that extra time. Don't just see it. Take advantage of every little thing you can, every little thing that you can do in that time. Your life is in phases.
Yes.
So just every phase of your life, deliberately look at what's going on and what I can do in this time, and just do it. Don't just let the days go by.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Adigo. Really, really, really appreciate that. Now, a woman is saying, I don't like what I do. I'm frustrated doing it, but right now it pays my bill. What can you say to her?
That's a tough one. Well, the part of the world that we're from, in a way, your bills getting paid is very important. So you
actually
have to,
all over the world.
Yeah, all over the world. There's no welfare system.
Yeah.
So you have to work. So if you're still on the job that you really don't like, that you're not being fulfilled at, the reality as well is that the jobs are not really out there like they should be. The ratio of people looking for work to the jobs available is it's unbelievable. So if you have a job that is paying your bills, you still have to stay with it until you get the desired job that would make you fulfilled. You can't quit your job and just go stay home.
That's it.
You can't do that. So you have to make the best of every situation. That's what I try to do. What sometimes people say, how can you be so calm? This is going on. Well, the thing is, I've learned that. Well, I think I took that from my dad. So what are you going to do about it? Okay, this is the reality. There's no point sitting down and crying. This is what's before you. So look at it. How can you make the best of it? Because there's no point having a job you're not fulfilled at and then being a miserable person because of this job. That means it's taking everything off you.
Yes.
So make the best of it while you look for what you want. The kind of job you want, you might have to, do certain things, like maybe you need a certification, you need something to make you more relevant to get that job. You might want to do it on the side while you're here. And I think the fact that you know that you're working on something that's taking you to where you get fulfilled would actually even push you, make you happy, and suppress that, sense of whatever you're feeling on the job. So just make the best of every situation, and think of your exit plan and work at it.
Okay, that's really beautiful, Mama. I'm sure you heard that now. Make the most of that time that you have in that place, and for all you care, you might actually be there for a reason.
Yeah.
You might be there for a reason, and you may want to find out what that is, and just enjoy being there for now. There's no point being miserable, like my guest said. Okay, at least it pays your bill, so that should make you happy. All right. So, tell me, how do you relax? Do you have a me time? How do you consciously step back and take a deep breath?
Well, I have my me time, and it's very important to me. Sometimes I just come back from work. Okay, everyone's okay. We had dinner, work done. Okay, everybody go to your rooms, and I just lock myself. I just want to be alone. I have those days. And then I go out with friends. I have a few friends. So once in 3 months, there are about 3 or 4 of us. So we just take the whole Saturday. We just leave the kids. Maybe they have to go to a crèche or a home or something. Sometimes they bring their kids to mine with their nannies, and everyone's in one. All the children are in one place, and then the 4 of us just go to a place together. It's like a retreat for us. We pray. And then from there, we go to the movies, we go to the spa, we go to have dinner.
That's beautiful.
It's a whole day, like 9 to 7. We do that like once every 3-4 months. So that's really therapeutic for me. It's relaxing. I look forward to it. Just be around the ladies and everything. And then when I travel to stock my store, I also see that as an opportunity. I take one day after all the hustling and everything. I just take one day to relax and just think, strategize, just be with myself. And that's relaxing for me. So every woman should find time. You need to take time out for yourself. You need to take time out to distress, think, strategize, and just appreciate yourself. You're doing a good job, you're doing a fantastic job. You've got 2 roles, whether you work in the corporate world or you do your business, you're combining that with a home. That's a big thing you're doing. So appreciate yourself, love yourself. Self-love is so important. Love yourself and just relax, distress yourself. Just whatever you love to do. Some people love shopping, that's what takes the stress off. Whatever it is, just do it. Create time for yourself.
I love that about self-love, because I feel like sometimes as mothers we have this sense of guilt, like I don't know if this happens to you, but you've gone in to do some shopping for yourself. You actually plan to do the shopping for yourself, and then you get there you see these lovely dresses that would really fit Tino, and that would really look good on Michael. And you find yourself spending all the money on the entire house, people, and then you left yourself.
That's one of the fringe benefits of being a mom.
I'm telling you, but
yourself last.
The truth is that we need to be able to also put ourselves on that list. It's okay. You don't have to feel bad doing it, Mama. If you've never done, we're not teaching you something bad. We're teaching you something that, honestly, you feel good about it.
And then you're a better mom after that.
Yes.
It's when you go on retreat and you discover yourself. Out of away from your usual mommy, mommy doing everything for everybody else. You do a good job at that. So you need that time.
Maybe that's why some people have been grumpy lately, actually. You're stressed out and you need to take some time out. That's the truth.
You do.
And the truth is, a woman needs to understand that what she doesn't have, what she doesn't have, she can't
She
give.
can't give. She can't.
So you've been giving so much every time to everyone, your husband, your parents, your in-laws. You are just giving everybody, and you haven't actually taken the time, to step back and refuel. Okay, I believe that this is for somebody. You're listening to me right now, Mama. You're feeling like you're burnt out. Now you need to take a deep breath. Everybody will be fine.
Yeah, they will be. Yeah, they will be.
Everybody, that's what I discovered.
Yeah.
Everybody will be fine. That's why you find women or mothers sometimes, if a woman is like indisposed, maybe has fever or malaria, you won't know. Why? Because she's all over the place, still trying to be there for everyone until she crashes. That's when everybody knows, oh, something is wrong here. And you know what I discovered? They'll be alright. They'll always find a way
around it. Daddy will make noodles, and then don't disturb mom. So everyone will be alright. So it's okay to take a day, take a few hours. Just love yourself, just discover yourself, and then your spouse as well. Take a time together, take time out together, spend time together. Just two of you.
Much, Mrs. Adigo. I mean, it's been a very, very great time here with you, and I know that everyone who's listening to me right now is blessed hearing these words of wisdom, and I believe that somebody's running with it already. Now, what do you want to say finally to every woman who's listening to you?
For every woman out there, I'd just like to encourage you. You're doing a fantastic job. It's not an easy task to be a mom and to be able to work, or even if you're a stay-home mom, you're doing a fantastic job. So just be yourself, find out what fulfills you, and go for it. And love on yourself, because it's so easy to love everyone else and forget about yourself. Love yourself, and live deliberately. Find out what it is that will make you feel fulfilled and run after it. And remember that the help of the Holy Spirit can be overemphasized in everything, because you can't be a better mother than God, the double-breasted one.
That's
so
it.
Always recourse to Him for counsel when you feel stuck, when you feel helpless, when you feel like just running away from everybody, from all the mom duties. Just remember. And then parenting these days, we all know what's going on with parenting, and we find out that even parents that feel they're doing a good job, sometimes the children are able to pretend, and then you find out people saying, oh, the son of so and so is so and so. So it takes me to my knees. It makes it more obvious that we need for parenting, because you're not there. You don't know what these children are doing when they're not right under your nose. Even right under your nose, you hear what children do with phones. So please, just engage the Holy Spirit. He's the one to tell you all things, teach you all things. It's very important.
Okay, thank God for the wisdom that God has given you, Mrs. Adigo. I pray that the Holy Spirit will continue to guide you every step of the way in Jesus' name. Thanks for shedding some light into the hearts of people today. It's a lot of work to be both mom and a career business woman, and people need to stop questioning women's abilities to handle the load and telling them how they should live their lives. Now, men, please give your wives the chance to be fruitful and fulfilled. She's got so much on her inside, and I am an advocate of women fulfilling their dreams. I just emphasize balance to ensure an all-round success in career and family life. Once again, thank you for coming, Mrs. Adigo.
Thank you so much for having me.
Right, thank you to our listeners. If this program blessed you today, kindly tell another woman about it. If you have any question or comments, kindly reach us on mommang18@gmail.com, at mommang18 on Instagram and Twitter. You can listen to Wells Radio by downloading the app on your Android and iOS devices. Go to Google Play Store and search Wells Radio, download and install the app, and you'll be able to listen to us. Also listen to Wells Radio via TuneIn, Streamer, and our website www.wellsradio.com. Follow and like Wells Radio on Twitter and Instagram at Wells Radio, and on Facebook at Wells Radio Online. My name is Tolu Aladesanmi. Don't forget, Momma, this program is just for you. And remember, till next time, make sure you live, you love, learn, and laugh. Have a good day.